It is Thursday. We are live. This is Rich Lieberman on the Bay Area Media Pulse. And boy, we got some news breaking. Um, one of it local, one of it will be local. And let's start with the news. ABC Disney is going to be cutting lots of jobs. And it was a little hat tip to the New York Post. It began at Good Morning America, which is the morning program that is jointly owned, obviously, by ABC Disney. And they're making cuts there. And with these cuts, they go to all the O&O stations, the owned and operated stations, including, yes, at 900 Front in San Francisco. They are bracing for cuts. Where does it start? Probably personnel. Probably people, not necessarily on the air, but a lot of people who work behind the scenes, producers, writers, news personnel. And this is a Disney trademark. Here they are making record profits with their amusement parks, their streaming, their movies, all that, yet we got to cut. We got to satisfy the shareholders and appease them. So I told you folks the other day about radio, about July being the fiscal year, the beginning of the fiscal year. Well, this is the end of the month, a new month. It's August. And yes, let's make cuts. So, how it is affected at ABC7, I'm doing my best to get word out. I know a lot of the newsroom people there, like everybody else, watches me. Maybe I can be given some information via my own sources or get it the old fashioned way via email from just those of you watching. But this is going to be very interesting. Lots of nervous Nellies over at 900 Front. Okay, the other big story, and this is my exclusive. I rip KCBS because if you listen to KCBS, you understand why. It's an amateur hour operation. They call it the shit show. Some of the veterans who are still there, not many, or who have left. Well, guess what? 2 years to the very day he was hired as this big, prominent reporter and anchor, Chris and Carlo. Does that name sound professional? Sound accurate? He was hired by none other than Jennifer Seelig, who is the news director, vice president herself. Well, 2 years to the day after this guy from KFI was brought in to ostensibly give some replacement factor to Stan Bunger. Well, guess what? Chris Carlo is now out. He has left KCBS. And those of you who have still listen to KCBS for whatever reason, maybe out of sympathy. And Carlo was an occasional anchor, mostly a reporter, their kind of star reporter. In fact, it was just on last couple of weeks covering the big fire up near Chico. And he is now gone. He came to KCBS. They hired him, made a big splash about it, Seelig, because he also heard about their reputation. Well, guess what? He was fed up. He told people, I'm out of here. And sure enough, 2 years to the date, late July 2022 was when he was brought in, and now he's gone. That is a direct result of the fact that KCBS is in the doldrums. Supposedly, he's going back to Michigan. He's got in-laws that live there. But folks, nobody leaves California, the Bay Area, to go back to Michigan for their in-laws, just that. Clearly, he was fed up. He told as many people. And now, as news of this breaks, the morale at KCBS, which was horrible to begin with, is now worse than horrible. It's one of their star people, a KFI guy, coming in to replace somewhat Stan Bunger and to be their ace reporter, has left. And he's not a happy camper. This could create more than just this personnel move. There's a lot of people that are fed up at KCBS, but this is significant. I wasn't a big Carlo fan, but I'll give him this. At least he sounded professional. He sounded intact. He sounded like somebody who at least had some, I hate this word, it's kind of a cliche, gravitas. And now they're losing him. And I don't know who stays on at KCBS. I guess you got to feed the family, Jeffrey Schaub, Holly Kwan, but at least they're somewhat reputable. Rest of you folks, this is a major, major move by somebody who just simply gave up. I'll talk to you later. Keep it on Rich Lieberman. Join my channel, subscribe, and please make a contribution.